Hello and welcome back to Positivity with me, Danielle. So I know it's been a while. We had holidays and then I had a lot going on, and then it's New Year, so happy New Year's. And then I got a birthday coming up, so we got a lot going on. But I am back, and today's show is about co-parenting. So maybe 2 weeks ago I did a live about co-parenting. I asked y'all a couple questions. We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna actually put that into the show the best that I can, because it's kind of hard like recording that and trying to fit that in where people that weren't on the live can understand what's going on, but I'll try to work it out the best I can. But that's pretty much today's show is. So I'll start out talking about I asked on the live, can two parents that obviously are no longer involved with each other but have a child together, can they manage to get along without it being anything sexually, romantically, but have a good relationship for their child or children? A lot of people on my live said that it is possible, and I believe myself that it is possible. I believe that it can take some hard work depending on the parents, but I believe it is possible. I believe that two parents can put aside the situation that they went through, whether they had a bad breakup or whatever the situation is, and they can put pretty much put the feelings of their child first. Wanting their child to see that they can be happy around each other, that they can deal with each other for the sake of them is a big thing. So I think that can be a really big thing for kids, and I think that a lot of people need to just put their pride aside and do what they need to do for the kids. So that was one of the big questions that I was asking. I think that a lot of times people are really petty and they feel a type of way about things that happen in a relationship, so they don't want to put forth the effort that they need to have a good relationship between their baby mom, baby father, whatever. But I do think it's possible. Another question that I asked is, do you think that parents should help each other out? Now, one thing I say about that is, say if two parents are not together, but the mother has the kids most of the times. My example is, from my distance, I have my kids most of the time, but their father does get them, whatever situation is. So say that I always pay my bills, but my electric bill sky high and another bill just happened to shoot up, and I'm like, oh, I really need help with this bill this month. I believe that I should be able to ask my son's father to help me with this bill for this month, because my kids live here. They have to pay, they have to use the light, they have to use the electric, so it's something that they are using. It's not like I'm asking him to pay my personal phone bill that only I use, or my gym membership or something like that that's only mine. Then that will be a whole nother situation. Or to go buy me makeup from the store, or pay to go get my hair done, then that's a whole nother situation. Or buy me some sneakers or something like that. That's something I can't explain. That some people do have that type of relationship with their baby mom, their baby father. I respect it. It is what it is. Maybe they have like a real good friendship. I'm all for it. It is what it is. And I guess there's some lucky women, but my life doesn't work out like that. And a lot of people, it doesn't work out like that. But there's a lot of guys out here that think that's ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous. I believe that you should be able to help out your child's mother if your child is living with them with bills. I mean, it just makes sense to me. That's like, for example, if your child has a cell phone and the cell phone is due, you should be able to help pay for that cell phone because that's your child's cell phone. Or if your child needs something, you should be able to help with that because that's your child. So it's like, I wouldn't say that you're asking that person, you're asking the other parent for money if it's for your child. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm not asking. If I was asking for money for me, I would say, oh, can I get money to get my hair done? Can I get money for sneakers? Can I get money? If I'm asking you for money for something for your child and it's going to your child, then it's for your child. So your child is benefiting, is doing something for your child. So that's co-parenting, compared to, going to court and then them making you pay to do the same thing that you can just do on your own. So it's like some people have a healthy relationship with co-parenting because they can just talk to each other and they can work it out, where they can be like, hey, I'm having a little trouble. Christmas came up and now I have all these bills and I'm having a rough time paying this bill that I usually pay all the time. So can you pick up on this bill or whatever? And can you help out with this? And it's like, oh no, well, you do it any other time. And then it's like a whole situation. Wow, you should be able to just work that out. Also, another thing with co-parenting is I feel like a lot of people get into relationships and then they sort of forget about their part in the family. Even though you're not with you might not be with your baby mama, your baby father, it's like you're still sort of a family because you have this child together. You know what I'm saying? So you should still have this care for each other. I feel like you should never have this real bad hatred. It's sad that some people it gets that bad in your relationship. It shouldn't, but it can get that bad. Some people's relationship can get that bad, where you hate each other. It shouldn't, because y'all have a child together and it can be really toxic for the child. But y'all should still have some kind of respect, some kind of love for each other, where y'all can still be some kind of family without having to be together, with nothing sexual, nothing romantic going on, but y'all have this beautiful child that y'all have together, or children that y'all have together, and that's it. And because of that, y'all have respect for each other and y'all can help each other. You know what I mean? Especially, like I said, when you have a parent that has a child, more than another parent, you should always be able to help that parent out, because that parent is pretty much taking care of the child most of the time. So in my opinion, I believe that, when it comes to co-parenting, that's a situation that you can work out on your own without having to go to court. In my opinion, I believe that courts make stuff sloppy, and then people start, oh, I hate you, and this, that, and the third, because now it's something you have to do instead of something where you have a choice to do it or not. And then they try to lock you up if you don't do it, or when you can't do it. But it's like when you can do it and you don't do it and you have a choice, it's like it's a messed up situation too. So I don't know. Co-parenting is hard. It really is a hard situation. It's like, because it's like, in a way, you want to be a good person because you want your child to think that y'all can get along, for the sake of your child. And you never want to look like you're trying to push someone to be a good parent, because it shouldn't take that. It should never take you making someone to be a good parent. I believe that a parent should always want to be a good parent. You shouldn't have to make someone want to be a good parent. Sometimes it takes time for someone to want to be a good parent. Sometimes it takes, growth. Sometimes people need classes. Sometimes people need to live and learn. Who knows? But I don't believe that you should have to force someone to be a good parent. So I sort of feel like that's what courts do. So I'm sort of like against it to a certain extent. But it is kind of messed up when you're just doing everything on your own and you don't have help financially or even emotionally. To not have help emotionally to go through stuff, and feel like you would appreciate if sometimes you could have someone there emotionally, not even for you, but just for your child emotionally. Like, your child could be going through something and you could be like, oh, it'll be easier if we just had both parents at that time or whatever, but you feel like you can't really talk to that person. So there's a lot of things with co-parenting that people don't understand. I think it is important for a child to have both parents, but it doesn't always work like that. But a child can be raised great by just one parent. It is possible. So there's lots of ups and downs with this situation. It's a really touchy situation. I will always go above and beyond to try to raise my child the best I can with what I have, whether that be with one parent or with two parents. I will do whatever I have to do to try to make sure my child has the best education and the best knowledge that I can provide them with. I will try to give my child everything I can. I will hustle and do whatever it is and whatever it takes to make sure my kids are always great. I will find a way. I have so far, and I will continue to do that as long as God will allow me to do it. So, I don't know. I mean, would things be easier? I guess things can be easier with two parents, but I don't know. It's a hard situation. Like I said, I got on live and I asked people. A lot of people were really negative. They were saying that, co-parent can be done, but they said a lot of people feel like a type of way about a lot of stuff. Like they were saying a lot of females get jealous of like their baby fathers and stuff being in different relationships and stuff like that. It was never my situation, but a lot of people deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people deal with they wanting to be in a relationship with their baby fathers to feel like their family and stuff like that. Some people want that type of family situation. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not that I never wanted that. It's just that I was young and I sort of outgrew that, I guess. But I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but you just always want the best for your kids, always. So whatever it takes to get that done. You want to try to have the healthiest relationship you can, I say, with your, I can't say significant other, so with your baby father, baby mom, whatever, that is healthy enough for your child. You don't want your child to think that you just hate their parent. So I try not to talk toxic about my child's parent because I don't want anyone to ever think, negative like that. I don't want my child to think negative about his parent, regardless of how I feel. So I just try to keep things positive, even if I don't always feel that way. I just keep it to myself, or I express it to him. I'll say it myself, how I feel, get off my chest, and I'll leave it at that. But I do believe co-parenting is important, especially if you, like, financially, if you got it, I believe you should do it. I don't think it's being money hungry. I don't think it's being, extra. I think that if you're the parent that always does it all and you need help, that you should be able to ask for help. I believe that if your child needs something, that you shouldn't always have to do it. It's okay to ask the other parent to do some stuff too. But, everybody looks at stuff differently. So, when it comes to time is very important. But I leave that to my kids because I let my kids decide when they want to spend time and how they want to spend time, because I feel like I don't want to force them to do that. That's something that is their decision on how they want to spend time, when they want to spend time. They're old enough to make that decision on their own now, so that's how I put it. But being a single parent is definitely not a bad thing. Like I said, you could be a single parent, you could be a great parent, you could raise great kids. So don't ever let that break you or make you think that you can't do the same thing a happy family could do or co-parenting can do, because you can. So with that being said, that is the end of my little session, and I'll show you some clips from my live, and see you next time. Bye. Have a happy new year. See ya. Okay, so here's some clips from my live that I had a couple weeks ago. I said I would share with y'all, so I hope y'all enjoy, and I hope y'all can hear. It's kind of hard to understand. That's why y'all need to tune in. So when I say I'm gonna have a live, make sure y'all tune in, and I hope y'all enjoy today's episode. My whole little setup here. Now, I have met people that really want to mess with somebody. Oh, sorry, my phone rang. I have met people that have really wanted to be involved with somebody, but that person probably told them like, oh, they don't like kids, or they don't want to mess with somebody that have kids, and they have lied about having children. I would never do that. But some people have done that, and they had hopes that eventually they could tell this person that they have a child, and because they like them or love them now, they will accept it. I think lying from the beginning of the relationship automatically like poisons it, where even if the person got feelings for you, by the time you tell them that you have a child, being that you already lied and they already sort of told you they didn't like kids, it's just already a bad thing. Even if they play it off like it's okay, I still really wouldn't trust that situation. But how do y'all feel about that? Like if you were dating a girl and you were just like, I've been dating a lot of girls that have kids, and it feels good to have somebody that doesn't have kids for whatever reason. Maybe you just got a lot going on with your kids and with your baby mom, and you're just dealing with somebody that doesn't have kids or whatever the situation is. And then out of nowhere, she's just like, actually, I do have kids, but you've been dealing with her for, a month now. Like, would that be a breaker for y'all, or would you try to work it out, or would the biggest thing be that she lied, or would it be the fact that now she has kids? Hey, again, my pencil. You stole my pencil? Huh? You stole my pencil? Thank you. I need that. Can I have my pencil back? What? This what? SpongeBob. SpongeBob. Papa. Right. That's how I feel. I feel like if you got a lie from the beginning, it just ain't even worth the relationship. If I start dealing with somebody and I ain't tell them I had kids, and then they say, I don't really want to deal with somebody, I'm like, damn, well, I guess you don't really want to deal with me because I got kids. Like, I would just tell the truth from the beginning, because there's no point in lying. If I gotta hide the fact that I have a child, it's just a no-go for me. Why SpongeBob? Can you use their headphones? No. You better ask y'all. Hey. Y'all sleeping tonight, huh? The eyes is a filter here. The glitter. Oh no, my eyes is real, but the glitter on top is a filter. Yeah, my eyes are green. gonna fall. Yep. Where you wanna go, boy? I don't even wanna go nowhere. I'm so mad. I don't know how to freaking pinpoint no questions on here. I gotta learn. Somebody gotta teach me. I don't know. I think that was pretty much all I wanted to ask. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to ask. I think we pretty much touched everything. I ain't talked that much though. Y'all was being quiet tonight. I thought I did it later. I should have did it earlier. Good deal. What's that song? Ew. Ew. I can't think of nothing else I want to ask. What questions y'all got for me? Let's switch it up. Since I'm always asking y'all questions. Hi. This episode is crazy. What's wrong? Good to see you too. Don't be asking me nothing crazy. Why do I let my sunlight sleep? Just person is doing something. It was already on the TV. I don't know what to say. On this cartoon.
So today's word of advice is you do what you have to do for you and yours. Don't wait for anybody else to make anything happen. If you can get help, it's always a plus, but you make sure you do what you have to do.